Welcome to Win with Barlow, the podcast where we turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. With your host, Akira Barlow. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of DNA testing businesses. Looking to maintain momentum or ready to scale? This series is your guide to success. Let's get started.
Well, hey family, hey cousins. Welcome back to another audio learning session with your girl, Akira Barlow. If you are new here, welcome to the fam. Welcome to our vibe over here where we are learning how to start and create a successful DNA testing business, a mobile lab, a non-medical mobile lab. That is what we are chit-chatting about over here. If you don't know who I am, I suggest that you check out my Instagram, which is Win with Barlow. It is in the description box. It'll kind of give you a little bit of background on this whole DNA testing thing and me and my trainings and classes, all of that. All right. So definitely follow me on Instagram. Check me out over there because I do have some good content over there. But I know that I'm kind of recording this at a weird time. I think this probably should have been episode number 1, right? Like this probably should have been episode number 1, how to actually start a DNA testing business. I really was completely overwhelmed at the response here on YouTube and on the podcast. So listen, y'all forgive me, okay? Your girl, look, all this is kind of new to me, all right? So let me give you what you want. Let me give you what you want. Let me tell you how to start a DNA testing business, especially this year. So it's 2024, how to start a DNA testing business in 2024. Very simple, very easy. First, let me just drop some disclaimers. If you hadn't already checked out like the DNA FAQ video that I did, go and listen to that. Go listen to that podcast episode if you haven't. Now, a little background to DNA testing, because listen, it took me by surprise as well. Okay, I'm not gonna even front. It took me by surprise as well. I just knew it was a gimmick. Like, what else is to this thing? Where is the fine print? Somebody point me to it. But let me explain. You do not have to have any medical background, okay? You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA or LPN. Like, none of that stuff matters. Like, you can just be you, all right? You literally need, I say, about $1,000 to actually start this business, just so that you can have money, for training, supplies, marketing, the basics, right? That is what I'm recommending. So like $1,000, you'll probably be good, unless you're in one of those states where, the LLC is $1 million, okay? But you'll need about $1,000. And this is a felon-friendly business. So if you do have a background of, something happened, you had to pop somebody in the past, look, I get it, I feel you, all right, look, but you good to go with this business, all right? It is felon-friendly, all right? And to me, I think it is recession and economy proof, because it's a business that it's not going out of style. Like, it's not going anywhere. People are going to need DNA testing for all sorts of different reasons. So I don't really think that the economy, or us being in such a weird place, with inflation and the country being in such a weird financial place, I don't really think it has a huge effect on this business at all. Do I think it's saturated? Absolutely not. There's a whole audio session on whether I think this business is saturated or not, but absolutely not. I do think that it's new. I do think that a lot of people are learning about it, but I still don't think that enough people are actually doing it and actually providing it as a service. So I don't think that it's a saturated business. You're not actually drawing blood either. All right. So in most cases, there's no blood. It's typically just a swab, a 30-second swab. So it's not really like blood. Now, there are some services like gender reveals and your non-invasive prenatal DNA testing. Those tests are blood tests. So you will need to have a phlebotomy certification to perform those 2 particular tests, or you can hire phlebotomists, but you don't have to have a phlebotomy certification or be a phlebotomist to actually start a DNA testing business. And lastly, the business is pretty easy and pretty direct on, how to scale it. Like, it's relatively simple. So that's just a little background for you. Now, let's get to actually starting a business. So you've been seeing my content. You're like, girl, look, I want to do this. What do I need to do? How do I do this? And it's really simple, right? You're going to need your basics, your LLC, your EIN, of course. If you're interested in building business credit with this business, which I do suggest, go ahead and get your Duns and Bradstreet number, just because you're going to need it for that. And get your website, a phone number, and your business bank account. What else you're going to need? A payment processor. You're definitely going to need a payment processor and a lab partnership. So a lab partnership, like that's the key to you having this business. What does that mean? A lab partnership is your business connecting with the actual company that's going to actually be giving you your results. Like they're going to be processing the DNA collections on your behalf, and then they'll give you the results, and then you'll give them to your client. So that's kind of how the process works. So I recommend, of course, DDC, which is the most prominent lab in the country. DNA Diagnostic Center, Alliance DNA, they do have like a program as well where you can pay, I think it's like $250. Don't quote me. The price may have went up or down or changed. I don't remember. But you can partner with Alliance as well. When I say partner, you're basically reaching out to them, whether it's making a phone call or you're doing an inquiry on their website. You're letting them know that you started your DNA testing company and you would like to partner with them. And so these lab companies are going to give you supplies. They're going to let you process with them. So they're going to give you a sheet that says, hey, here's all the pricing. Here's all of the tests that we can process. And they're going to give you the turnaround times. They're going to give you a description of those services. And then you're going to, in turn, sell those tests to the public. So if you're a lab, let's say you sign up with Alliance, and Alliance may charge you about $250 to get started. So they'll send you supplies. They'll send you practically everything that you need to get started, right? So they'll send this to you in a big box, a big kit. So now you have your DNA testing supplies, and now you're going to be able to use that on your clients. And so when you're working with your clients, you're going to literally just, collect the DNA, put it in the envelope, and send it out to the lab by mail. Typically, the lab is going to cover the shipping as well. So another great thing about starting this business. I also recommend Choice DNA. I think they have maybe a $50 fee. Again, don't quote me. Go over to their websites and actually check it out. But it's Choice DNA. I'll go ahead and put everything in the description box for you. But they literally are very good, great company to get started with. DDC does have like a higher lab partnership fee. I think it's like $750 to $1,000. Again, don't quote me on that, but I know it's somewhere in that range. My advice is to probably start with some of the smaller labs like Choice DNA or Alliance. Maybe start with them, and then of course, as you stack your coins, go directly and partner with DDC, because 9 times out of 10 these companies partner with DDC as well. So they're kind of like the middle person. So you got your basics, you got your business bank account, you got your website, you got a phone number. And let's talk about the website just briefly, okay? Because you can't really establish like your pricing or anything until you have literally set up an account with the lab. So in order to figure that out, just base it on your area. So do a quick Google search in your area to kind of see how much a legal DNA test would be. And that is kind of the range that you're going to be, setting your prices around. Of course, based on your lab fees as well. So when I say lab fees, let's just say, for example, you have a father who wants to test a child, right, to see if it's their child. The lab may charge you about $140 to collect for that particular collection, right? That particular DNA sample for a test, they may charge you $140. So to the general public, you can offer it at $400. So with you offering that at $400 to the public, but the lab is charging you literally like $140, your profit is like $260. So that is kind of how you are assessing like your price list and assessing your profit in this business. So you're literally contacting a lab immediately. Like once you're getting your basics up, once you have everything kind of set, the LLC, the EIN, once all of these things are set, my advice then is to go to the lab. Now, you may want to call and inquire before and kind of just see how it may work, see if it's a good partnership for you. But my advice is to don't set your prices until you actually have connected with a lab, signed a contract, and you're good and ready to go, because it's going to save you a whole lot of headaches to have to change things later, especially if you're putting it out on your marketing in advance. So my advice is to set the business up, reach out to a lab, partner with them. And once you partner with them, you're good to go. You now have a company that's going to be processing your DNA collection. So you actually have a DNA testing business. What do I recommend as far as getting clients and marketing, right? Because everybody always wants to know that. How am I going to get clients? Well, your clients are coming from you creating the demand for the service. So you're getting them from literally everywhere, right? You can get them from a barbershop. You can get them from maybe your local women, infant, and children's center, their WIC office. Maybe you are getting them from the labor and delivery nurses at your local hospital. It's so many different ways to get clients for a DNA testing business, but it's all about you being present, you being visible, and you providing a good confidential service. Now, when you are doing DNA testing, you're not supposed to do DNA tests for people that you know. Like, that's one of the things that I was taught. And speaking of being taught, let's talk about training and certifications, because people always want to know. Now, I'm going to keep it all the way real. There wasn't a whole lot of like training options online when I was like trying to figure this thing out. And that was about 3 years ago. It wasn't a lot of like learning options, a lot of classes. It wasn't a lot out there. So I was basically piecing together all types of different information to kind of figure this thing out. When I partnered with the lab, they didn't teach me anything. The lab literally gave me like a sheet on how to do a swab, a price list. It was like, thank you, welcome to the family, hi, bye. Like, literally, that was all. It was no education, no training. Nobody said, hey, do this or price this, or this is how you get clients. The lab did not do that. Okay, they did not. The only thing that they did was give me supplies and like a PDF on how to do a swab. That was literally it. So you don't have to have like a degree. You don't have to have a certification or anything special to actually do DNA testing. When you see me teach online, or when you see me, talk about DNA collecting and DNA testing, is more so along the lines of actually like training. Like me and my business partner, shout out to Ebony Polk Medical Testing Solutions. Hey girl. It's more along the lines of me and my business partner just literally showing you what we have done in our businesses to actually like make this like thing work, how we've made it come together, how we're making this thing a multi-six-figure business. So that is what that's like. There's no DNA collector, database or directory or certification renewal. There's none of that out here. Do I think that it's coming? I do think there will be some changes in the future to just kind of get a little bit of regulation with this, because people are finding out, and y'all know how it is. And a lot of people start finding out about stuff, baby. They go to looking and like, wait a minute, this is a sector we didn't consider. But listen, you do need training, okay? You do need some sort of just guidance and just training, just so that you can avoid making mistakes, so that you can avoid, headaches. So it's kind of like a cheat code. That's what a training class is. It's like a cheat code to advancing. So you don't need anything, major. There is no real like certification database. And I know you see a lot of classes, people use the term certification or certified and all of that, but it's literally just a term, right? You don't need anything special to start a DNA testing business. I do recommend that you take a training, my training preferably, okay? Just so that you can kind of know what to do. And it is in the description box. It is a self-paced training class. So you can, tune in, listen, take the kids to eat, come back, finish it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is something that you're able to do over time, and you will be able to access it forever. Okay. As long as I'm out here doing this, you got access to it. It does break down everything that you're going to know, that you need to know, how to do this, how to get clients. It's going to break down literally how to separate your money into like taxes and marketing envelopes. I just break it all down for you. So if you're interested in kind of just learning what to do, you can grab it in the description box. You can also use the code winner. Okay, it's in the description box as well. If you want to get a little some dollars off, okay, just use that promo code. But yes, starting a DNA testing business is relatively simple. It's relatively, very easy to get off the ground. The biggest thing that I see people struggle with the most is just the marketing. It's about, being consistent and just working on days that you're not seeing traction, and which I'm going to talk about that in a whole separate video. But it's important that you be prepared to market your butt off. You be prepared to network. You be prepared to sell yourself and sell your services. If you are okay with that, if you're a hustler, if you can do that, then you can really do this business. So again, there's not a lot needed. There's no special requirements. There's no special insurances. If you want to get like errors and omissions insurance or something, or just some basic business insurance, maybe that, but it's not required. There's nothing special about this. You're basically just a reseller, or yeah, basically it. You're basically kind of like a reseller of the lab's products. So that's how this thing works. So that is how to start a DNA testing business in 2024. Don't want to ramble, keep you on here longer than necessary, but just get your basics, your LLC, your EIN. You want to get a website. You want a professional, clean website. You want a professional email. You want your business phone number, business bank account. You want a payment processor, something like Stripe, something like PayPal. And then you want your lab partnership. Remember, the labs are DDC, Alliance, Choice DNA. And then, of course, you got to be prepared for marketing. I recommend flyers. I recommend maybe bandit signs if they're not illegal in your area. I recommend, of course, running ads on social media. I recommend partnerships with attorneys and doctors, all of those people, right? I highly recommend partnerships to get you some clients in your DNA testing business. So that is how you start a DNA testing business. If you want to learn more in detail, grab my DNA self-paced e-course. It is in the description box. If you're listening to this on the podcast, it is in our links as well. So that's how you start a DNA testing business. Very simple. Nothing special is needed. If you are in New York, though, there are some special regulations. All right. Just want to throw that out there. If you are in New York, there are some special regulations. You may want to contact someone, maybe at your Secretary of State's office or Business Services Division. Reach out to them to kind of see what those regulations are. Any other states is to go. You might still want to make a couple calls just to ensure that you don't need anything special, which you probably won't. And you should be able to get your DNA testing business off the ground. So that is how you start. I hope you guys are interested and would like to give it a shot. I definitely love it. I think it's room for everyone. And I would love to see more people give it a shot. So that is our lesson for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. As always, like the video, comment if it resonated with you. If you got questions, put them below. I'll happily answer those questions. And I'll see you in the next audio session.